So depending on the age of your kids, they might actually be in the house with you all summer. Do we need to take another deep breath?
Parent Talk with Kary. Everybody sing. Parent Talk with Kary. Everybody sing.
Hi there. Welcome to Parent Talk with Kary. Okay, today we're going to talk about summer fun or not so fun. Let's begin with our prayer. Ready? In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, please help me share information that is helpful to parents and help parents receive the messages that are intended for today. Amen. Let's take some deep breaths. Remember, these are the deep breaths for relaxation and grounding and calming the body. The prayer, right, is us talking to God, and the deep breathing is us being quiet and listening for His response. So it's inhale through the mouth of the nose to the count of 4, and exhale through the mouth of the nose to the count of 6. So breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so kids are home for the summer. Feel like we might need take another deep breath, right? So let's breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, so summers were a struggle for me because I really like the structure. I like the structure of school. I like the predictability of a schedule. I know that I'm not the only one. Kids are also used to a schedule all the time. So depending on the age of your kids, they might actually be in the house with you all summer. Do we need to take another deep breath? Right? Working parents will have kids that are in daycare, camps, or other school summer programs. Moms that are not working outside the home, you guys might have the kids all summer. So in my family, I was home with the boys. I only worked on Saturdays when my kids were young. And that came with its own sacrifices, right? But this is what we agreed to, and the sacrifices were made in order for us as a family to make sure that I was able to be home with the boys. But that meant that I was home with the boys all summer. I was like, I don't want to be home with them all summer. So let's talk about it, right? So working parents, your kids are in camps, right? They are doing plenty during the day. There is no need to plan more things for them at night. Like the YMCA Camp Widgewagon. Oh, geez, I don't know if I just slaughtered the name of that. But that camp is busy. When the kids are outside, they're outside during the summer. It's exhausting, right? Their little bodies are actually quite drained from their big days. They're not just in school and air conditioned. They're inside and outside, and that's part of the fun, right? But it's also still exhausting for them. So we don't need to overschedule kids during the summer, right? After they're done their day and they get home, we're going to get to the same regular routine in the evenings that you had with them during the school year. For those who don't work outside the home, they may still go to some camps. They might go to VBS. They might do some other things. But it's not necessary, right? Because somebody's there. It's still a really good idea to plan the summers. Like each day have a schedule The schedule makes things predictable for kids, and it helps everything run more smoothly, right? And I know it sounds like, what, make a schedule? But it's just when you can post it, because think about their school day. Like, there was a schedule. Even in a daycare setting, there's a schedule. There's an order. Even if they don't understand the concept of times, there's still an order. Once they start kindergarten, there's a schedule, right? And sometimes in the classrooms, it's posted what time we go where and what we're doing, when we're switching from English to math, when we're going from circle time to stations, when we go to reading, when we take naps. All these things are listed, and it becomes very predictable. This helps with anxiety. People aren't as stressed when they know. And think about how predictable we make our lives just on a regular basis, right? You sit in the same seat at Mass or the same general area. You park in the same place, right? I've talked about this before, but all these things help us to feel safer because our world is more predictable. So if we can implement that during the summer, it's better for everybody, you as a parent included. So, and I would post it. Depending on the age of your child, if you have school-age kids, posting it is great, right? Put it up. In the mornings when you wake up, there's breakfast. There can also be rules about wake-up time, right? Like, you can't get out of your bed until the clock in your room has 7 o'clock on it. When the clock looks like this, you can get up. Or whatever time you choose is fine. 7:30, depends on their age, right? Adolescents, good luck getting them up, right? They don't get up before like noon. But, you know, for the littles, you might tell them, nope, you guys need to stay in your rooms and in your beds until the clock says 7 o'clock. And have a clock in their room and teach them what 7 o'clock looks like. And that's when they can get up. We did that, and it actually worked out great because, you know, all the time, even through the school year, because I didn't want them coming in the room at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. I mean, can I get a break, right? So we would have it, you know, I taught them the time. They had clocks in their rooms, and I never did, now I lost the word. Is it an analog clock, the one that says the numbers? I always did, like, the round clock with, like, they had to count, like 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, so they knew, so they could tell time. The old-fashioned way, okay? So if you have a schedule, put breakfast on it, that the kids have some free play, when they are going to start reading, when they have lunch, when they have outside time if it's not too hot. And then what is their inside activity if it's rainy or too hot, but still a physical, like something. We used to play Just Dance. When the Wii came out, they had a game called Just Dance that we would dance a lot in the house. And a lot of the games that they play, they can get real sweaty playing some of the video games that they have. Are they going to take naps? What time is nap time? Put all that on the schedule. Snack time, put it on there, because then they don't have to ask you all the time, when do I get a snack? When they can watch TV, how long they can watch TV, when they're going to have video time, go look at the schedule, what time is it, right? You get the idea. Wednesday is grocery day. Monday and Tuesday and Thursday, we go to the pool, right? Fridays, we have a play date or we go somewhere with someone, right? It may sound like a lot of work, and it may be a lot of work in the beginning, but you will be glad you did it later, right? Then you don't have to work so hard. You don't have to be very creative on the spot all the time. Older kids that stay home, they are still expected to complete the family obligations before leaving or having friends over. So older kids are expected to clean the kitchen. Like if you are making breakfast, you need to pick up after yourself. All the things, right? Doing laundry, putting clothes away, picking their things up. You know, these things are all done before you leave or you have friends over or anything like that, right? Not after. Like we get chores and all that stuff done first. And depending on their age, I mean, we do want them to go and hang out with their friends as much as possible, right? It is their summer, and we do want them to have a good time. So do your things first. Let's get through the chores and, just so we can all function, and then go have a good time. Older kids can start meal prepping for you guys, right? For dinners. They can start practicing pouring their own drinks, right? It's a great opportunity for kids to start using some fine motor skills. They can start practicing cutting their own meat, setting the table, loading the dishwasher, unloading the dishwasher, right? When I used to do this presentation to preschoolers, I used to present at MOPS groups all the time. And I would tell them to rearrange their kitchen. And rearranging their kitchen is all of the kid dishes go low in drawers and cabinets that are low, that they can reach, right? And kid dishes are plastic. So it's great for them. They can load and unload their dishes, right? They can reach them, they can do it. And then they can go get their own things to help learn how to set the table. They can get their own cup, their own drinks, right? It doesn't actually take as long as you might think to rearrange the kitchen. You probably already have the kid stuff all in one area. Anyway, I just want you to put it low, right? In like a Tupperware bin, I have a big bin that I kept a lot of there, like the cups with all the parts to the sippy cup, right? That all goes in there, and they can unload all that too from the dishwasher and put it in there. Doesn't take much time, life altering, helps with independence, which helps with self-esteem and self-confidence. Remember that sibling rivalry could increase over the summer because they're together a lot and they're getting on each other's nerves. And expect it and do your best to stay out of it as much as you can, right? Have a plan for it. The plan is stay out of it unless they get me involved. If I get involved, then I'm going to respond with chores, or clearly you have too much free time because you guys are fighting. I need you to go and start wiping down, the baseboards, right? Think of the chores that you don't like to do and have them do those. Have them do those things. And it's not an argument. We're not mad about it. It's just if I got to be involved, I'm going to problem solve this, right? For those of you, just a little sidebar, if we're doing camps and stuff, make sure you do your research. Know where they're going. Not every camp is for everybody. Not every camp is for every family. Different strokes for different folks, right? It's not judgment. It's just this might not work for me, even though it worked for somebody else, okay? I feel like we should put a giggle in. Y'all want a giggle? Here we go. Let's giggle. How cute is that? I love it. Okay, so if you guys are just tuning in, you are listening to Parent Talk with Kary on Nashville Catholic Radio. And today we're talking about summer fun or maybe not so fun. And we're just trying to figure out what the plans are going to be. So let's talk a little bit about summer vacations, right? Summer vacations are not mandatory. Okay, people are out of work, money is tight, your pay was reduced, you're worried about losing your job. If your family normally takes a vacation, but you cannot, it is fine. Talk with the family about it. Explain age appropriately that this year you are not going. Right? Maybe plan camping in the backyard this year or day trips. And this is part of that, right? If they're used to always having a great summer trip and you just can't, it's a valid conversation to have and talk to them about why that is and the feelings associated with it, right? We feel bad. We hate that we can't, but this isn't going to work this year for us. What could we do instead? Do you guys have any suggestions about other things that could be fun where we aren't leaving and we don't spend a lot of money, right? It is a conversation though, okay? Right, especially if we have school-age kids. Any school-age kids are going to completely understand what's going on. They're going to notice that it was missing, right? If it's a secret, it becomes, like, how do I say, like sneaky? It sounds like if you were not being honest with them about what's going on, it ends up being something that's like sneaky and shady as opposed to this is just how it is this year. Right? Hopefully that it won't always be this way, but this is how it is for now. What can we do? Do you have any suggestions? If you are able to do a vacation, then plan your vacations well. Think about the age of your children before you go on vacation. Like you might have this dream vacation that you want to go on, but your kids are too young for it. Right? Don't do it then, because then you're going to struggle and it's going to be harder for you and you're going to miss an opportunity. Remember things that happen when we go on vacation, right? So infants have a hard time sleeping somewhere new. If you are going to use a pack and play, start practicing the baby sleeping in it now. And bring your own sheets so it smells like you, right? I know lots of places sometimes they provide pack and plays for kids, but make sure you have your sheets or whatever you might need. I am a big fan of I've always called it like a whoopee. I taught both of my boys to have a whoopee, and their whoopee was always a blanket. It could be like a little stuffed animal. They had, the stuffed animal that is a blanket. They have all kinds of things. And basically you just teach them. Like you bring it to them before they go to bed, you bring it to them before nap times, you kind of hold it around them, like you train them to have this whoopee security item. And I always thought that that was a great idea and did it with both the boys because I needed them to be able to sleep other places and feel safe and secure. And if they had their blanket with them, it was an easier time. Like I've never lived with family. Like I've always lived out of state. My family's always been in New Orleans. So we would travel all the time and they'd need to be able to sleep at my parents' house. And if they had their whoopee, their security blanket or whatever you guys call it, then they would go to bed easier, right? So I encourage that. If you don't have one, I would start, having some kind of object that they can use for bedtimes mainly. I was not a fan. We did not take this item everywhere. It was only for sleeping. It was not something that they had in the car or with them all the time. This wasn't something that went into Walmart. This didn't go in the grocery store. This was in their bed. It stayed in their bed, right? My boys actually had their blankets until they decided they didn't want it anymore, and they would just forget about it. Like I'd find it like at the bottom of the bed, right? When they were done with their whoopee and they outgrew it, it would just be at the bottom of the bed, and they didn't notice it anymore. It was a great, healthy transition, right? I still know grown-ups and big kids who take their pillows and their special stuffies with them when they go out of town, right? I mean, I just heard of a bunch of girls going on the bachelorette trip, and there was a lot of stuffed animals involved in it. So, okay. Practice sleeping in a pack and play. Remain calm because babies, their feeding is off and they can feel your stress, right? Have an agreement with your family, your husband, your in-laws, your wife. If things are not going well, who's going back to the room? How do we problem solve this? And have that planned in advance or like the night before, right? Because then the next day, it's not an argument because nobody wants to leave the good time. Everybody wants to continue to have fun. But we need a plan because babies can be really stressed and they can feel our stress. So the more planning we do, the less stress we feel, the safer we feel, the more confident we feel. Okay, don't plan late dinners when your kids normally eat at 6 o'clock. Right? If you have to wait in line, you need to have a bag full of dinner. We are talking, little packed lunches that you bring. So if y'all got to wait in line, the kids aren't starving. Have the toys that they might need, right? Don't plan late dinners. Sometimes the size of the group affects how things go. If it's too big a group, kids can be too overstimulated. Right? And overstimulated kids look squirrely, busy, not listening very well, right? Remember the basics. They are cranky when they are hungry, tired, or have a dirty diaper, right? Most children have all the same issues except the dirty diaper part, right? You have the same issues. You are cranky when you are tired and you are hungry. So don't set yourself up to fail. Don't set the kids up to fail, right? Manage all these things. Have a specific place that you know is really kid-friendly to go. I like this part, like monitor their fun and encourage kids to take good care of themselves. And using the words, are you taking good care of yourself? What do you need to do to take good care of yourself? And you start talking about it before you go, when you're planning the trip, when y'all are out in the sun, when you're in the car, when times are good, when it can be a conversation, right? It's about, did you drink enough water today? How do we take care of ourselves? Did you put on your sunscreen? Are you eating healthy food for your body? Are you taking good care of yourself? Right? Is taking good care of yourself eating a bunch of chips, right? Is taking good care of yourself eating fruit? Have you eaten any fruit? Does your body say anything? Is it hungry? Do you need to go to the bathroom? Have you gone to the bathroom today? How do we take good care of ourselves? And asking them and having them really thinking about, okay, how do I take good care of myself? How do I plan for this vacation? What would be good things to put in your suitcase? What should we pack? What's something that you feel like you always need when you go on a trip? What's something you miss? Right? And have them be a part of it and be involved and make a packing list with them. Okay, how many pairs of socks do you think you need for this trip? Right? Have them be part of it because they are part of taking care of themselves. Let's see. Have conversations about money before you go. The vacation itself could be the money, so we don't get to buy souvenirs and all the extra things that they might want, right? But have those conversations with the kids before you go, right? So that they know what the expectation is. Even before you go into restaurants, if they are only allowed to get their meal, that's it. They're only allowed. I remember my parents telling us that. We are not getting appetizers. We do not get dessert. You are allowed to get your entree, right? This is how we are managing this situation. This is how we are managing the money for it. But have these conversations ahead of time so that they know what the expectation is, right? We're not getting a bunch of extra things. We're not buying souvenirs. The trip is the gift. That's what we're focusing on, our family time and being together. Okay. Have conversations with your partner about who's going to trade off when somebody has to go inside with the baby for naps, right? It might also be something to consider is not doing a family vacation and doing a partner vacation, because your whole family runs better when you and your partner are in sync. And maybe this year that's more important, right? You have to nurture and take care of your relationship with each other. So this year we're not going to do a family trip. We might do a couple day trips because Dad and I are going on a trip this time. right? And the kids get to be upset about that because that's okay because they're missing out on a vacation. I'd be upset about that. But you still get to do it. You still get to have time with your partner because the whole family is better when you are on the same page. Okay, I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, subscribe to the podcast or like it. You can also reach me at parenttalkwithkary.com. And Carrie is spelled like Mary, but with a K. And you could email me if you have questions or ideas or things you want me to talk about in the show. You can email me and just write it in the subject line, like for, Parent Talk with Kary for the show, or I have a question. And my email is Kary Valdes, LCSW @gmail.com. So KaryValdes LCSW @gmail.com. Until next time, love big, be kind, and have fun with your kids.
Parent Talk with Kary.